For decades, Hermès and Louis Vuitton stood like untouchable gods in the fashion Olympus. Elite, mysterious, and dripping in prestige. They didn't just sell handbags or wallets. They sold a fantasy. A fantasy of cobblestone streets and candlelit ateliers in the French countryside, where master artisans toiled for years, honing their craft in sacred silence. Every Birkin, every Speedy, was marketed as a holy relic, stitched by hand, steeped in heritage, and blessed by the gods of luxury. We didn't just buy leather, we bought the illusion of timeless class, and we believed it with our whole hearts. To own one wasn't just fashion. It was identity, wealth, status, power. A Birkin wasn't just a bag. It was a golden key into an exclusive club the average person could only dream of entering. But then, something snapped. A few blurry TikToks emerged, innocent at first, showing rows of Chinese workers sewing handbags that looked eerily familiar. The internet erupted. Were these luxury masterpieces really being made in factories, not in France, but in China? Could the world's most expensive handbags actually be mass-produced in the same industrial zones as fast fashion? At first, it seemed impossible. It felt like blasphemy. But the deeper people dug, the more the illusion unraveled. Whistleblowers came forward, factory workers talked, secret shipments were exposed. And slowly, painfully, the world realized the luxury industry might not be about craftsmanship at all. It might be about smoke, mirrors, and billion-dollar marketing. In this exposé, we're pulling back the velvet curtain on the biggest fashion brands in the world. We'll reveal how companies like Hermès and Louis Vuitton are using clever legal loopholes, Chinese manufacturing plants, and emotional manipulation to sell mass-produced products for thousands, while still claiming the label "Made in France." This is more than a scandal. It's a reckoning. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at luxury the same way again. Stay with us, because the truth is far darker, far deeper, and far more shocking than anyone in the fashion world wants you to know. It started as a whisper, a TikTok here, a leaked video there, grainy, shaky footage showing factory workers in China meticulously stitching handbags that looked far too familiar. Most people scrolled past, unconvinced. After all, this was Hermès we were talking about. The pinnacle of luxury. The brand that swore by craftsmanship, tradition, and exclusivity. The idea that a Birkin or Kelly, bags priced at tens of thousands of dollars, could be assembled in the same country that churns out fast fashion seemed not only far-fetched, but offensive. How could the symbol of elite status be touched by anything less than French artisan perfection? But the whispers didn't go away. They got louder. Investigators started connecting the dots. Leaked documents, trade records, and corporate filings began to paint a very different picture. One where Hermès, Louis Vuitton, and other luxury giants had quietly shifted significant parts of their production to China, despite maintaining their Made in France marketing. A 2023 exposé by Chinese media uncovered factories producing leather goods for European luxury brands under complete secrecy, with workers paid a fraction of what their French counterparts would earn. Even more damning, Hermès was found to have filed a joint venture with a Chinese manufacturer, a strategic move many believe was designed to scale production while protecting brand mystique. The illusion shattered, and with it, so did the trust of millions of loyal customers who paid top dollar for what they thought was artisanal excellence. This isn't a conspiracy. It's a documented shift in global luxury manufacturing. In this video, we're breaking it all down. The evidence, the economic motives, and the legal loopholes that allow this to continue. From viral TikToks to international trade filings, we'll show you exactly how the world's most iconic fashion houses are rewriting the rules, and what it really means for anyone who ever dreamed of owning a piece of luxury. Stick around, because the truth is more shocking than anyone expected. What if I told you that some of the world's most iconic Hermès products are being made in China? It's not just a rumor, it's a fact. In provinces like Shandong and Guangdong, factories are churning out luxury handbags under the very same roofs that manufacture goods for other high-end brands like Chanel, and even mass-market retailers like IKEA. And these factories aren't just newcomers to the game. One in Kunshan has been producing luxury bags for over 50 years, now responsible for nearly 80% of the world's luxury handbags. That's right, almost 8 out of every 10 luxury bags you've seen, adored, and coveted are made here. This isn't just a shocking revelation. It's a full-blown scandal that's shaken the very foundation of the luxury industry. If you thought luxury bags were an exclusive piece of artistry, think again. The same factories that mass-produce mid-tier products are also crafting your $10,000 Hermès or Louis Vuitton bags. For decades, we've been sold the story of luxury craftsmanship, a story where French artisans, deeply skilled, hand-make every product with care. But the truth is, a significant chunk of that handcrafted label now comes with a hidden price tag: mass production in China. This revelation doesn't just expose the brands, it calls into question the very essence of what we've been buying. How can a bag that costs thousands of dollars be luxury if the same factory is pumping out knockoffs? This isn't the first time consumers have been blindsided by the reality of mass production. Remember Uggs? The once rare, sought-after boots that symbolized California beach culture? Well, those too started out as a premium product, but eventually went the way of mass production in China. A Southern California woman who grew up idolizing Uggs shared her heartbreaking experience. What once felt like a rare, almost sacred possession now feels cheap and emotionally hollow. The same thing is happening to luxury bags. What was once exclusively rare and prestigious is now mass-produced and made available to the highest bidder. The truth is, many of the most coveted brands are no longer about true craftsmanship. They're about marketing and image manipulation. And when that myth falls apart, so does the value we once placed on them. But it gets worse. Much worse. Factory workers didn't just confirm that luxury bags were being mass-produced, they exposed the shocking truth behind how it all happens. According to insiders, brands like Hermès and Louis Vuitton aren't just outsourcing production, they're outsourcing the majority of it. These almost finished bags are shipped from Chinese factories back to France, where they're only slightly finished. A handle gets sewn on, a logo stamped, or a strap is added. Just enough for the brand to legally slap a Made in France tag on them. This isn't about quality craftsmanship, it's a marketing loophole, one that manipulates the consumer into paying premium prices for a story, not for a superior product. It's infuriating. What was once sold to us as the pinnacle of luxury is actually little more than a glorified assembly line. One factory manager even laughed during an interview, saying, "There's no real difference between a $100 bag and a $10,000 Hermès purse. Same workers, same materials, same machines. You're just paying for a story." And that story? It's starting to fall apart. The luxury industry has built an empire on perception, the belief that these products are made by skilled artisans, working in pristine ateliers with unparalleled precision. But the reality is, these bags are made in the same factories as mass-produced products. The only difference is the price tag and the brand's ability to convince you that you're purchasing something rare and exclusive. As the truth spreads, the illusion that luxury is defined by location, artistry, and craftsmanship is rapidly collapsing. Consumers are waking up to the fact that they've been paying exorbitant amounts for items that are, at their core, not much different from a mass-produced product. The luxurious Made in France label is no longer the shining mark of quality, it's just another marketing tactic. The luxury brands may still hold their prestige, but the foundation of that prestige is cracking and the truth is pouring out. The question is, how much longer will people keep paying for a story that's slowly losing its power? Artisans at Hermès have long been regarded as the backbone of the brand's reputation. It was once said that they spend 4 years meticulously training before they're even allowed to touch a Kelly bag, perfecting the art of crafting each piece by hand. A single handle alone takes 4 hours to shape, with no manuals, no cheat sheets, just muscle memory and the weight of tradition. This was the image that built the mystique of luxury. Craftsmanship was king. But now, the reality is far less romantic. These centuries-old traditions are being bypassed, replaced by mass production lines in industrial Chinese factories that churn out these so-called masterpieces at an alarming pace. The idyllic imagery of cobblestone streets and elderly artisans working in quiet ateliers is nothing more than a fantasy, and customers are starting to take notice. The fallout has been swift and intense. One TikToker shared a gut-wrenching story of spending $60,000 on a Birkin bag, only for their daughter to draw on it with markers. What was once seen as a timeless investment became nothing more than a regrettable purchase. And honestly, you can't even be mad, because when you think about it, what are you really protecting? A bag that cost less to produce than a night out at Olive Garden? $60,000 for a luxury item that, in reality, doesn't hold its value the way you were led to believe? The more you uncover, the harder it is to ignore the gut punch that comes with the realization you've been paying far more than the product is worth. Insiders have revealed even more staggering facts. Many Louis Vuitton bags cost less than $100 to produce. Materials, labor, shipping, all included. And yet, they're being sold for upwards of $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 or more. Let that sink in for a second. The profit margins on these luxury items are insane, and the customer is left holding the bag, literally. As more and more people realize that the bags they cherish are the product of corporate manipulation rather than artistry, the dream of luxury begins to crumble. The question now is, how much longer will consumers allow themselves to be duped by a brand that's lost its soul? You're not paying for quality anymore. You're paying for marketing. You're paying for the illusion of luxury. You're paying for an ego boost that's been carefully constructed to make you feel exclusive. The truth? Behind closed doors, the luxury world is imploding. Brands like Hermès and Louis Vuitton have built their empires on the notion of authenticity, but the cracks are starting to show. At Hermès HQ, executives are reportedly in full-blown panic mode, scrambling to salvage what's left of their carefully curated image. Emergency meetings, desperate PR cleanups, and brainstorming sessions to repair the brand's rapidly crumbling reputation. This is the new reality for the once untouchable brand. One leaked memo from Hermès even read, "Our credibility is dying faster than we can save it." But the storm is even worse at Louis Vuitton and parent company LVMH. Inside sources say Bernard Arnault, LVMH's notoriously ruthless CEO, is livid. Executives are reportedly on the chopping block, and top-level firings are allegedly imminent. The reason for this internal chaos? Store traffic is down, and not just by a small margin. Walk into a Louis Vuitton boutique today, and the buzz is gone. The velvet ropes that once created a sense of exclusivity have disappeared. The waiting lists that fueled the sense of urgency are no longer a thing. Even the whispers of excitement surrounding a new release, those too have faded. Instead, customers are greeted by empty displays, a stark contrast to the hyped-up allure that once surrounded the brand. This shift isn't just a passing phase, it's the result of an unraveling that's been years in the making. Consumers are no longer willing to pay exorbitant prices for bags and accessories that were never as exclusive or carefully crafted as they were led to believe. The truth is out, and it's clear now more than ever that brands like Louis Vuitton and Hermès have been profiting off the illusion of luxury. As the reality sinks in, more and more people are turning away, realizing they've been sold a fantasy, and the consequences for these once iconic labels are becoming impossible to ignore. Bored sales associates, silence. The once thrilling shopping experience has morphed into a hollow shell of its former self. For so long, luxury fashion promised more than just a product. It promised a feeling. It promised an experience. But now, the betrayal is too much to ignore. It wasn't just financial, it was deeply emotional. People didn't just buy handbags and accessories, they bought into the dream of being part of something sacred, something exclusive. Now, those same customers are waking up to the harsh truth. They weren't part of an exclusive club, they were just wallets with legs used to perpetuate a myth. And they're not walking away quietly, they're flipping tables as they exit the realm of luxury. Luxury influencers, the same ones who once showcased their Birkins and Speedies to millions, are now cutting them up on camera, publicly destroying the very symbols of status they once adored. One viral TikTok summed it up bluntly. You didn't buy heritage, you bought a $70 bag with a $3,000 ego tax. The backlash is loud and unapologetic. Others are taking it even further, slashing scarves, burning shopping bags, and tossing once prized handbags into trash bins, all set to trending audio with millions of views. The digital world has become the new stage for a luxury rebellion. The illusion of scarcity, The very magic that once kept consumers in line is now shattered. The spell has been broken, and as it fades, so too does the entire house of cards that these fashion giants built. This is bigger than just Hermès or Louis Vuitton. This is the collapse of an entire industry. Luxury fashion has long prided itself on exclusivity, but now it faces an era where consumers are demanding authenticity over artifice. The idea that status can be bought and sold is being torn apart. This revolution isn't just about individual brands, it's a wake-up call to the entire fashion world that the old ways won't hold up forever. As the dust settles, we're left asking, can the luxury market ever recover from the damage done? Only time will tell, but the clock is ticking. Gucci, Prada, Balenciaga, these iconic brands are now in a state of panic. Behind closed doors, executives are sweating, wondering if they're next in line to face the fallout from the unraveling luxury market. Analysts are sounding the alarm, predicting that what's happening right now could be the biggest collapse the luxury fashion industry has seen in decades. The reason? It's simple. Once customers realize they've been sold nothing more than lies, the damage is irreversible. They don't just shrug it off, they walk away, and when they leave, they don't come back. Trust, the cornerstone of the entire industry, has been obliterated, and with it, the foundation of these once untouchable brands is crumbling. Executives at these luxury giants are terrified. Investors are pulling out, worried that their precious portfolios are about to crash. The reality is setting in. The illusion that these brands built their empires on is no longer enough to justify their exorbitant price tags. For years, the narrative was clear. Luxury fashion wasn't just about clothing or accessories. It was about owning something rare, precious, and untouchable. It was marketed as the ultimate aspiration, a symbol of success and exclusivity. People believed in it, idolized it. But now, after the veil has been lifted, we see the truth. These luxury products were just another mass-market hustle, cleverly wrapped up with a fancier font and a higher price. This is the end of an era, and the implications are massive. Once loyal customers realize that they've been manipulated for years, the repercussions are felt throughout the entire fashion ecosystem. The age-old mantra that luxury equals value is quickly losing its grip, as millions of consumers turn their backs on the brands that once promised them exclusivity. The very fabric of the luxury market is beginning to unravel. The question remains, can these companies ever regain the trust they've lost, or is the damage irreversible? The clock is ticking, and the world is watching as the luxury empire teeters on the edge of collapse. The story is gone. The curtain's been pulled back. The emperor has no Birkin, and the truth is undeniable. Luxury was never truly about exceptional craftsmanship. It was always about illusion, an illusion meticulously crafted and held together by branding, scarcity, and secrecy. For years, we were sold the idea that these elite fashion houses were untouchable, that their products were born from generations of handcrafted artistry. But now, with the truth out in the open, that illusion is unraveling thread by thread. The once sacred mystique surrounding brands like Hermès and Louis Vuitton is now exposed for what it really was, a calculated marketing ploy. The magic is gone. So, ask yourself this. If luxury was always a lie, why did we believe it for so long? Why did we invest not just our money, but our emotions, our self-worth, into something that was never what it claimed to be? The truth is, we were all seduced by the narrative. The story that luxury meant exclusivity, rarity, and unparalleled quality. Once that story started to crack, once we began to see the truth behind the shiny facades, everything changed. And once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. The foundation of the luxury industry, which once seemed as immovable as stone, is now crumbling in front of our eyes. The empire built on this illusion is burning, one exposed stitch at a time. Every new revelation, every insider leak, and every piece of exposed footage chips away at the once mighty luxury world. What we once believed was rare, special, and untouchable is now exposed as a mere mirage. What's left is a market in chaos, brands scrambling to patch up their reputation, and consumers questioning their worth. The truth is out, And as the last remnants of this illusion fade, the luxury empire we once knew is falling apart.